Okay, thank you again, you guys, for being here. I've got a couple of housekeeping things to tell you about just real quick. In the very back of the room where Joshua is standing, there is a charging table. We tried to get a few different types of chargers so that if your phones or iPads or whatever start running low, feel free to go utilize that. The other thing is, I know there's a ton of you still sitting at the back. There are seats at the front, and there are a few sprinkled in. So just know when you have an opportunity, if you want to switch and move closer to the front, I'm seeing open seats up here. So just keep that in mind. Okay, I'm going to get this where you can actually hear me. All right, so we have a few different things to go over today. Nothing that I'm sure you guys won't be super excited about. So I'm going to get right into it. First of all, I'm sure you guys have started to see this tagline. What just happened? Okay. This tagline around. We have kind of adopted it through default, and it's knowledgeable real estate agents, educated decisions. We just felt like that really explained Mcgraw, our focus on education and training, and the fact that if you are going to use a Mcgraw agent, you know that you're using somebody that knows what they're talking about and has put the time and the effort in to make sure that they're up to date and they have all the knowledge they need to help you make a good decision. So that's where that came from. It's on your books if you got one, and you will start seeing that this year on a lot of our different marketing materials. Next, and always the hot topic, is what is going on with AMP and the changes. I know this might come to a surprise a lot of you, but AMP is actually going away. In a sense, we're doing something a little different with it. One of the things that we found out in our survey was that a lot of you didn't really think AMP was that effective. The ones who did found it very effective, but there was a good chunk of you that just didn't think that it worked. And so we're going to try something else. And like everything else, if it doesn't work, we will do something different next year and keep trying until we get it exactly right. So before I get into the specific changes, I do need to address some issues that we've been having in regards to Realtor.com and Zillow. So if you guys are wondering what happened to Realtor.com, we did eliminate it, mostly because of the cost in relation to what we were actually getting. It was astronomical, and we just didn't feel like we were getting a good enough benefit from it. Additionally, they recently changed leadership, and we weren't real sure how that was going to look or what direction it was going to go. So we decided to just pull out from them as far as doing any enhanced or featured listings, and we're just going to see how things go with them. It doesn't mean we're out for good, but we just wanted to see where they were going and kind of stand back, and then if we want to get back in later, of course, we can always do that. The other one is Zillow. So probably within the last 6 months, we've had some issues with Zillow in our enhanced listings. Earlier this summer, about June, Zillow decided to change up the way they did their program, and they were no longer including the featured listings with their regular program like what we were using. They decided to charge extra for it and make it a completely separate deal. At the time, our rep told us, you don't need to do it, nothing's gonna change, what your listings, everything's gonna stay the same, you won't see that much of a difference. It's a lot of money, just don't worry about it. Don't worry about doing it right now, give it a couple months. So obviously we took the advice of our Zillow rep, who we trust and assume that they know what they're talking about, and decided we'd give it a couple months. Well, guess what? A couple months go by and there were changes. We did see a difference in our traffic and the listings not being featured on Zillow. So we contacted them and said, this isn't working. We want to get this back on our account, at which point they said okay. And literally for the last probably 30 days, they've been going back and forth with contracts with us trying to get this back on. And I'm told that as of this week, all of our listings are featured again. It's not going anywhere. They will always be that way. Matt, who you guys will meet Shortly and I have kind of taken over the feed and the featured listings with Zillow and Trulia, and we're hoping to eliminate a lot of those issues. Speaking of feed, I know you guys have also experienced some problems with Zillow's feed. So that's resolved now, but I just want you guys to know that every one of their clients in the entire country was experiencing those problems. It wasn't just Mcgraw, it wasn't us specifically. They had issues with their software that was literally causing that problem nationwide. They have implemented a new software to specifically handle our feed, and we should be good, knock on wood. So with those things addressed, I'll go on into the situation with the AMP. What we've decided to do is basically scale back to the $150 package that we started with, except it's got a little bit of a different look. Every single listing that you guys have is going to come with this $50 package. The $50 package includes the hands-on Trulia and Zillow. It's also going to include a quarterly postcard program. So once a quarter for the entire year, we're going to send out a mass postcard mailing similar to what we did last year. If you guys participated in the Why Sell Your Home Now postcard that we did, where we had you send us your client list and we send a postcard out on your behalf, it's going to be similar to that. We will send it out to every single one of your COIs, and it'll have your name and your contact information. It will have a call to action so that it will encourage people, whatever the message is, for them to actually do something and contact you and hopefully generate some more leads for you guys. So that's kind of our lead generation package, as we're calling it, to hopefully help you guys in that area. Second, we're going to have an optional $200 package, but that will be in addition to the $50, and that's going to include, let me straighten this a little bit, a photographer, the flyers that you guys are used to, 50 just listed postcards sent to a radius around the home that you're selling, and a new listing ad in the World of Homes. So basically what you're looking at is, if you want to just go with the 50, get on Trulia and Zillow, and then have us send your postcards out, you can do that. And then we're going to have kind of a menu of options for you guys to choose from, a la carte. So you can still get your flyers, you can still get a photographer, you can kind of pick and choose what you want. So maybe you don't want to spend a full $200, you just want to get flyers, and that's totally fine. So that's where we're going this year, and we're hoping that will satisfy those of you who have loved the AMP. I mean, it's kind of still there. And those who haven't liked it, you don't have to even do it, and you can pick and choose what you want to do. So that's the changes for that. This is just a quick snapshot, and I know a lot of you probably can't even read it, but this is kind of what our new marketing order form is going to look like that comes in your listing package. So you get an idea of what I mean, the a la carte options. So you'll check which one you want, and then you can check next to the a la carte options you want. I will have some of these at the marketing table at lunch if you want to grab one to kind of get a better idea what it looks like, because I know it's hard to see up here. Then the flyers aren't changing. We're keeping the same look, at least for now. We haven't heard any major complaints about the flyers. In fact, we've heard a lot of good things about the flyers. So if you do go with the full package, or if you pick the flyers and the a la carte, they're going to look the same as they've always. The process is going to be the same as it's always been. You're still going to get an email from marketing with your proof. They're still going to be delivered Friday, just like they always have been. So not much change there. I will show you this one brochure we kind of snuck in middle of towards the August or September of last year. It's it's the size of an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. It's got room for almost 13 pictures and a longer description. So we've decided to tie this in with the other flyers. So if you have a listing over $1 million, you're automatically going to get one of these folded. And if you haven't seen them, I'll have some of those at my booth as well. But those who have seen them, you know what I'm talking about. They're very, very nice, and they'll really make, especially your higher end listings, stand out and pop. So make sure you come by the booth and check those out. I've got samples of the other flyers as well. So here is a picture of what I was talking about with the quarterly postcards. This isn't set in stone, but this is kind of what we're looking at for first quarter, the one we're going to send out for first quarter. We've focused on our 2 accomplishments last year, which we feel are huge, and Luke mentioned earlier. It's a huge deal that we were number 3 in the top workplaces in the entire state. I mean, that says a lot. And then that we were voted best in the world by Tulsa World. I just think those speak volumes. So we'd like to include that. And then obviously on the back, if you can't read it, it says, see for yourself what everyone is talking about. It's never too early to start thinking about listing your home. So our goal is to get people to start thinking about listing their home or even buying a home in January and February when they think they really need to wait until it starts to get warmer. There's so many things, and you guys know that they can start doing now to get their house ready. So that's kind of our goal with this first postcard. For those of you who haven't ever heard of Mcgraw Mail, which I'm hoping most of you have at least heard it mentioned by now, this is our postcard program. So earlier when I said that the $200 package is going to come with 50 just listed postcards, this is what I was talking about. We have a website. It's just www.mcgrawmail.com, and we have a number of postcards on there. We have promo cards. We've got just listed, just sold, open house, price reduction, auction postcards. We had holiday cards around Thanksgiving and Christmas, and we're continually adding to those. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you do. And they will also have a booth at lunch, so you can go ask them questions if you've had issues, or if you are curious exactly how it works. Feel free to go and talk to them about that. There's also other things on that site, like banners and yard signs as well. So if you haven't checked it out, you definitely need to get on there and check that out. And they're $1 a piece. And that includes mailing everything, so that's not bad at all. Okay, so then I want to talk about the Mcgraw store. Again, this is something that hopefully most of you guys have heard about by now, but this is the store where you guys can go to buy apparel, giveaways, client gifts. They've even got wrapping paper, just little fun things for you guys to have with you to hand out to your clients or for yourself. And they will have a booth at lunch as well. I'm giving a lot of shout outs here for the booths. So if you want to go check them out, they'll have a booth at lunch as well. Something else we added this year were luxury yard signs, and we've had a few people use these. Lindsay's used them a couple times. I think Gordon had one. A few other people have used them. So they're really, really nice. They're wooden signs. They're taller, way taller than your average yard sign. They just really make a statement, especially if you're looking at a house on a large lot or just something that's unique about the home or a larger home. It just really gives it that extra added touch as opposed to just the regular yard signs. So these are available. We have one that we are calling the Modern, and it is like kind of a charcoal color. It's streamlined, pretty basic. And then we have our traditional one that's brown, and it looks more traditional. So we have those two options. If you're ever interested in something like that, or if you want more information, you can email me about it, and I can send you the order form and answer any questions that you guys have on that. It is $250, and they install and remove, and then they store the signs for us so that the next time you guys want to use it, you can. Okay, so Luke touched on social media. These are the sites you can go to connect with us. If you haven't already, I encourage all of you to. We try really hard to post things and switch up about listings and open houses. And if you guys like those pages or on Instagram or Twitter, you can retweet it or share it with your friends. And, that's 3,000 people on our site that are eyeballs that see it. And I even see a lot of you guys post things on our Facebook page about a listing or an open house you're having, and that's fine too. So please make sure you're using those. We have a hashtag today. We are Mcgraw. So if you post any pictures or make any comments, please make sure you use that hashtag, and hopefully we can kind of get some excitement today on all of our sites. Okay, so one other thing we're doing this year is a new electronic newsletter. So I know you guys all love our paper newsletter that we send through email and we hang on the bathroom walls, but we are going to switch and do an internal electronic newsletter, which basically means everything that's in there is going to be clickable. If you want more information on something, or if we reference a website or anything else, you're going to be able to click on it. It's going to be interactive. We'll be able to track how many people have opened and read it and which topics you guys are reading the most, so that we can make sure we include more of that on there. I think it's going to be awesome. It'll be a lot easier to manage than the paper form, and obviously it can still be printed if you guys just love the paper one. And then something we're going to be doing with the next couple of months is an external newsletter. So we're going to have a newsletter that you guys can send out to your clients. So it'll focus on things that they would be more interested in reading. We'll send it out, and then you guys can forward it on to them, and they can actually get on the email list to where they receive them automatically. So they can opt in, and every time we send out a newsletter, they'll automatically receive it. So that's pretty cool, I think. So that's something to look forward to. February's newsletter will be on the new electronic format, so be looking for that. And then hopefully, like I said, within the next couple of months, we'll have the external one complete. Okay, I think that is it. I feel like I talked really fast, so I'm sorry. Again, I will have a table at lunch, so any questions you have, please feel free to come by. We're trying not to take a lot of times for questions in here today, so we can keep the flow moving. So anyways, that's it for me, and thanks again for coming, and enjoy the rest of the day.